Rise again, turn your struggles into strength. The rain poured steadily over New York City, casting silver streaks across the night sky. Neon lights reflected in the puddles on the cracked sidewalks, and the city moved at its relentless pace, indifferent to the souls fighting their private battles within it. At the edge of a narrow alley, slouched on a cold bench, sat Ahmed. A paper cup of coffee rested in his hand, long gone cold. His eyes tired, hollow, stared at nothing. He had come to America with dreams stitched into his heart. Back home in Pakistan, people had told him, America is the land of opportunity. You'll make money, send it home, and build a new life. He had promised his mother he would pay for her treatments, his sister that he would cover her wedding expenses, and himself that he would finally rise above the poverty that had chained his family for generations. But the truth of America was different. Every morning at 6, he worked construction sites until nightfall. Brutal winters froze his fingers, scorching summers burned his back. Supervisors yelled, wages were late, and exhaustion was constant. He survived on cheap food, lived in a shared apartment with peeling paint, and fell asleep each night to the ache of unfulfilled promises. When his mother asked on the phone, "Beta, are you okay? You're strong, right?" Ahmed forced a smile she couldn't see and lied, "Yes, am I? Don't worry. Everything is fine." But inside, he wondered, is this my destiny? Did I cross oceans only to break here? The fall. One afternoon, tragedy struck. Ahmed was lifting bricks on the site when his foot slipped. He tumbled down a small scaffold, landing hard on his back. The pain was immediate, searing, like knives running up his spine. At the hospital, the doctor's words hit harder than the fall, "You'll need weeks of rest. No heavy lifting. If you push yourself, the damage could become permanent." Weeks of rest for Ahmed, that meant no work, no money. No money meant no rent, no food, no remittances to his family. Lying on the hospital bed, ceiling lights glaring above, he clenched his fists and fought the tears that wanted to escape. "Why me?" he whispered. "I gave everything, and still it's not enough." The descent. Days blurred into nights in his tiny room. His roommates left early for work while he lay trapped, useless, staring at cracked walls. The silence grew heavier with each passing day. Rent notices piled at the door. Calls from home grew desperate. His sister's marriage was postponed because funds never arrived. Shame wrapped around him like chains. He stopped answering calls. He stopped stepping outside. Food was scarce, hope scarcer. One night, drowning in despair, he wandered the streets, dragging his aching body under the neon haze of Times Square. He watched tourists laugh, businessmen rush, lovers kiss while he felt invisible, broken, left behind. He reached a bridge and leaned on the railing, staring at the black water below. The thought came, cold and sharp, maybe it would be easier to let go. Maybe the city, this world, doesn't need me. The wind howled, the river shimmered. He closed his eyes. And then his phone buzzed. It was a video call from his mother. He almost ignored it, but something in him pressed accept. Her frail face appeared on the cracked screen. "Beta," she said softly, "I was praying for you today. I saw you in my dream, you were standing tall, stronger than ever. You were helping people. Don't forget Allah gives the hardest battles to his strongest soldiers." Her words cracked something inside him. His hands trembled, and for the first time in weeks, tears flowed freely down his face. He whispered, "Am I? I want to give up." "No," She replied firmly, eyes glistening. You will rise again. Because you are my son. And my son does not quit. The rise. That night, Ahmed didn't jump. Instead, he walked back home, slow, broken, but carrying a new ember inside. If he couldn't do construction, he would find another way. Something less brutal, something that didn't destroy his body. He pulled out his old, dusty laptop, one he had barely touched since arriving. Back in Pakistan, before poverty forced him into labor, he had loved fixing electronics and learning about computers. He remembered staying up late in internet cafes, teaching himself software basics. That skill had been buried beneath survival, but maybe, just maybe, it was his way forward. He began small. Online tutorials. Free coding lessons. Fixing neighbors' phones for a few dollars. It was humiliating at first, earning pennies while his back still hurt, but he persisted. Each line of code, each small repair, was a step away from despair. Months passed. Ahmed got better. He started freelancing online, designing websites for small businesses, repairing laptops. One client referred another, then another. He wasn't rich, but for the first time in years, the money came from his mind, not just his muscles. And with each paycheck, he sent money home. His mother's voice brightened, his sister's wedding was back on track, and for the first time, Ahmed saw pride in their eyes when they looked at him on video calls. The twist of fate. But life tested him again. One evening, while delivering a laptop repair job to a client, he was stopped by two men in the Bronx. They cornered him, demanded his bag, his phone, his cash. Ahmed froze. Fear surged, but so did anger. He thought of all the nights he had starved, all the times he had wanted to end it, all the pain he had endured just to climb out of that dark pit. Something inside him snapped. He fought back. Not with reckless rage, but with a strength born of every struggle he had survived. He escaped bruised, his bag gone but his dignity intact. For the first time, he realized, he was no longer the helpless immigrant boy crushed by fate. He was a man who had endured, adapted, and risen. Redemption. 2 years later, Ahmed sat in a small but cozy office in Queens. On the glass door outside were the words, "Rise Again Tech Solutions, Founder, Ahmed Khan." It wasn't a skyscraper empire. But it was his. A business built from pain, persistence, and the promise he made on that bridge the night he almost gave up. He had hired 2 other immigrants like himself, men broken by labor and rejection, teaching them the same skills that saved him. One afternoon, as he closed shop, he looked at the skyline of New York. The same city that had almost destroyed him now stood as witness to his resurrection. His phone buzzed, a picture from home: his sister, smiling in her wedding dress, his mother beside her, tears of joy in her eyes. Ahmed's throat tightened. He whispered into the evening air, "I fell, I broke, but I rose again. And I will keep rising, not just for me, but for everyone who thinks their struggle is the end. It's not the end. It's the beginning." Final lines. The rain began again, soft this time, washing the streets of New York. Ahmed stood there, hands in his pockets, no longer invisible. He had turned his struggles into strength. And in doing so, he had found something greater than success. He had found himself.